having me here today. And I told Matt Pitch when he asked me to do this that he must be sick, because there's two things everyone knows about me. I'm always late, and I'm a wild card, and no one ever knows what I might or might not say. So it took a lot of trust for Matt to let me come up here. I think Jamie in the back, Jamie Barker, did text him and tell him that I was on time today, so we're doing good. But no, we had an exciting election, and we had a watch party, I guess, here in Little Rock, and I was just pacing back and forth, just, as we were watching the numbers come in. We were watching, of course, the state numbers. I was over helping Matt Pitch over the elections for the state, so we watched these numbers just come in one at a time. And I just want to tell you about what happened that night. So we started out with 64 Republican House members out of 100. Before the night was over, we had 73. So we ended up picking up an additional 9 seats. And so we beat Camille Bennett, these are incumbents, Camille Bennett, Brent Talley, Marshall Wright, James Ratliff, and then I'm counting Betty Overby's husband. He ran again after he had turned out, so he was technically an incumbent too. So we beat 5 well-known incumbent Democrats that evening, so that was huge. And Marshall Wright actually had #1 seniority in Congressional District 1. So he was a huge one that we were able to take out that night. So we had 73, and then after elections, Representative Wardlaw and also just most recently Representative Hillman switched from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party. So we now have supermajority. We have 75 in the House. And it was a kind of a funny joke outside the Capitol the other day. I told Representative Hillman, there's a bunch of us standing around, and I said, now you make 75. If you don't vote with us every single time, I'm gonna come find you. And he looked at me and he said, I'm more worried about you voting with us every single time than I am me. So we have a lot of fun in the House. But just out of the makeup, what we have, so last session was my first session, and I beat a 2-term incumbent Democrat as well, and I was the first Republican representative to come from my district from Izard County, and I followed Missy Irvin, who was the first Republican senator. And then during redistricting and all that, I ended up losing her with Izard County. So we had 41 total freshmen last year, so the House was a little bit chaotic, and there was a large learning curve. This year, we only have a total of 19 who are considered true freshmen. So the knowledge base going into the legislature this time around is much, much better. So there's a lot of things that we're already starting to work on that we weren't anywhere close to this last 2 years ago. But we have 17 freshman Republicans. We have 2 returning Republicans that had prior turned out, they've come back, and we have 2 returning Democrats that had been there before and are coming back. So it's a fairly interesting makeup. But we're looking at things already. There have been bills filed on tort reform, block grants, which is something we're looking to come out of the Trump administration. Block grants for health care, and health care is going to undergo some major changes this session. We've got judicial reform. We're looking at what they call diversion centers, trying to reduce recidivism rates, economic development, and possibly some tax cuts. I had a whole bunch of notes here and decided I think everybody's ready to go home. And I got Darren Waddles coming up in a minute, and he talks forever. Too, so where's Darren? Where's he at? I love him. He's mine. He's one of my constituents too, so I can give him a hard time. But also, and I wanted to thank Doyle because Doyle was great. I think I texted him at 6 o'clock in the morning about I needed help with this candidate, or 10 o'clock at night I needed this or I needed that, or how many mailers are you guys doing? Good grief, we need more help up here. What can you do to help us? And he was always great. Anything we needed throughout that election, he was there for us. So I want to thank you for that. That was great. And then also to you guys, because so many of you helped knock doors, you helped make phone calls. Without you guys, some of these candidates, we had one that won by roughly 150 votes. Frank Kavanaugh beat Ratliff with just like 150 votes she's $27,000 in debt to herself. That's how hard she worked. But I just wanted to thank you guys too for helping. Without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to do it. And interestingly enough, on my drive down, I spent the whole 2.5 hours coming down here working on recruitment for next time. So while we're all celebrating Trump and everything's great, so we're already starting to work for the next session, the next election cycle. So I encourage you guys, if you know of anyone who wants to run as a Republican for the state to be a state representative, have them contact me or contact Doyle. I picked up 2 names while I've been here today. I've been like a little salesperson. I've been whirling around trying to find people. But my goal is to have 100 Republicans running. I know Matt Pitts tried it last time and he got close. And so this time I'm in charge. I'm always in charge, by the way. But